Good evening, everyone. My name is Russ Talbot. I am the Advancement Chair for the Five Creeks District within the Pathway to Adventure Council. And tonight's brief webinar will be on the topic of boards of review. Uh, in general, we're going to break it down into a couple of sections here. We'll go back into some brief background. We'll talk about boards of review, a tenderfoot through life, and then we'll finish up with some information that's unique to Eagle Scout boards of review. So as we proceed, for background, advancement in the scouting program is simply a means to an end and not the end itself. It is one of several methods designed to help unit leaders carry out the aims and missions of the Boy Scouts of America, now known as Scouting America. The methods of scouting involve the ideals instilled in the Scout Oath and Law, the patrol method as formulated by Lord Baden-Powell, Scouting's founder, which promotes teamwork, citizenship, responsibility, and small group interaction. Outdoor programs focusing on conservation, respect for nature, skill building, and self-confidence. And advancement, surmountable obstacles, self-paced, and the sense that provides a sense of accomplishment and recognition for the youth. The important point being here is that in the advancement world, the obstacles are a challenge, but yet they're surmountable or achievable. This dovetails nicely with the methods of scouting, which is association with adults who provide a positive role model, adults taking an interest in youth character development, personal growth, the good turn concept, scout goal sets and achieves and participates and leads service projects, leadership development, practice leadership skills in a safe failing setting, understanding leadership concepts and differing styles of leadership, specifically as it pertains to scouting, servant leadership. And uniform, being part of a larger group, identifying with a world brotherhood, force for good, a visible commitment to the aims and purposes of scouting. Scouting's mission is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over a lifetime by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. The aims of scouting involve every scouting activity moves young people toward the basic aims of character development, citizenship training, leadership, and mental and physical fitness. Moving specifically from the aims and scouting and the background we've just discussed into the more specifics of advancement. Advancement is based on experiential learning, or if you will, on-the-job training, and is best accomplished doing things with a patrol and a troop, with adult and youth leaders, and independently. There are 4 steps to the scouting program, and while I'm at it, the bulk of the information that we're discussing tonight comes directly from the Guide to Advancement, which is a very, very handy tool for the advancement chairs and committee chairs to have and refer to. The 4 steps of advancement involve step 1, a scout learns. Learning promotes self-confidence and increases the opportunity for the scout to contribute to the patrol or the troop. As the scout develops knowledge and skills, they are asked to teach other scouts, which both reinforces their learning and further develops their leadership skills. A scout is tested. This is an important phase of the advancement program, and we'll hear about this a little further in just a minute. The unit leader authorizes those who may test and pass the scout on rank requirements. They might include the patrol method, the senior patrol leader, the unit leader, an assistant unit leader, or another scout. One highlight from the Guide to Advancement under the testing phase, which is important to note, that once a scout has been tested and signed off by someone approved to do so, that requirement is considered met. The unit leader is accountable for ensuring proper advancement procedures are followed. Careful selection and monitoring of these sign-offs of rank are the key to a strong and successful advancement program. Step 3 in advancement, a scout is reviewed, which is the source of our topic tonight. After completing all the rank requirements except the scout rank, the scout meets with a local board of review. And the fourth phase, the scout is recognized. When the scout has earned the scout rank, or when a board of review has approved the advancement of a scout, the scout deserves recognition as soon as possible. This should be done at the next unit meeting or at a court of honor in a more formal setting. But either way, recognition is a key element of the advancement process. Some notes to consider as we review these four things. Most of the surprises or difficulties that crop up at a board of review typically stem from the questionable execution of advancement step number 2, which was the testing phase of advancement. After the scout is tested, reviewed, and recognized, a well-organized unit program will help the scout by presenting opportunities to practice newly learned skills in different settings and using different methods. Boards of review are rank requirements from Tenderfoot through the rank of Eagle Scout. There's a differentiation in the rank requirements between a unit leader conference and a board of review. We're going to chat a bit about the unit leader conference here as it relates to the board of review. Unit leader conferences are best held after all skill requirements have been signed off and before a board of review for rank advancement can be conducted. The purpose of the Scoutmaster Conference is to ensure the scout is ready for a board of review. A review need not be, a Scoutmaster Conference need not be the last thing the scout does before he advances in rank, but it's typically most effective if done after all the other requirements for that rank have been met, so the Scoutmaster can review with the scout all elements of that rank. But a Scoutmaster Conference can also foster increased trust and confidence between the scout and the Scoutmaster. And it's another opportunity for the youth to talk with an adult. A Scoutmaster Conference creates the opportunity for the Scoutmaster to seek changes if needed in the troop activity and advancement program. He's hearing information directly from a scout who has just gone through the program as at the grassroots level of that unit's activity program. The conference allows the Scoutmaster to evaluate the scout's personal growth. This is not a test, but the unit leader is wise to assure at the unit leader conference that the scout has a solid grasp of the rank requirements. This is a discussion, not an examination, and a discussion will reveal any gaps or weaknesses. And as a reminder, one of the goals here is to be looking at developing future teachers to younger scouts. Some examples of appropriate questions that a Scoutmaster or unit leader can ask would be something like, for example, in what situation would a bowline knot be helpful, or a 2 half hitches knot? That approach to the topic might lead to a discussion of the edge method. If the unit leader observes a lack of certainty, he may then follow up with, how would you teach another scout how to tie a bowline or 2 half hitches? Only in cases where it is where a clear lack of skill or understanding surfaces should a unit leader ask for a skill demonstration. But by this point, usually the scout knows he needs more study to succeed. Unit leader is evaluating future teachers. I mentioned this just a minute ago. Unit leader conference is a discussion. Both the unit leader and scout can learn much from each other at the Scoutmaster or unit leader conference. Moving into the board of review phase, which typically happens after a Scoutmaster conference and after all rank requirements have been signed off. The board of review from Tenderfoot through Life Scout. Information for these boards of review can be found in the Guide to Advancement Section 8. Which provides clear guidelines for boards of review at this level. They're similar from the ranks of Tenderfoot through Life. They differ at the Eagle level, but we'll get to that in just a couple of minutes here. The board of review is intended to determine the quality of the scout's experience and to decide if the requirements for the rank have been fulfilled. This is the responsibility of the review board. Boards of review should be conducted promptly when the scout is ready. A board of review must be granted when all other requirements are met. A successful board of review date becomes the scout's date of rank and entered in his records. Boards of review cannot be denied once the scout believes he has met all the requirements. And scheduling a board of review is not the responsibility of the scout. The scout's responsibility is to advise his unit leader when he's ready and advise the unit leader when he's available for a board of review. The scout should not select, identify, or request specific members to comprise the board of review. It is appropriate to advise a scout, typically done by the unit leader. A board of review may not be successful. The scout retains the option to proceed regardless of this situation. It's interesting to note that in the guide to advancement under this particular paragraph, the word pass is used, but we need to be careful to avoid using the word pass and fail as it pertains to boards of review. They're discussions. It's not possible to fail one. It is possible to have a board of review stopped and reconvened if it's not going particularly well. Boards of review are conducted at the unit level with unit adults, volunteers between 3 as a minimum and 6 as a maximum. Interestingly enough, the uniform is not required for a board of review, but a neat appearance is. Lack of a uniform is fair game for questioning, but not grounds for denial of a board of review or reason to deem the board of review unsuccessful. A review for tenderfoot board of review for tenderfoot through life rank should last between 15 and 25 minutes, with 30 being the absolute maximum. Guide to Advancement, paragraph 8.0.1.0 provides some very clear guidance about boards of review. And a few of these I'll lift out here because they are key to our discussion. The board of review should be conducted in a relaxed atmosphere with the scout law kept in mind. Scout must be registered while working on youth advancement, but not for a board of review. You need not be registered to have a board of review. The unit leader typically introduces the scout, and the scout should know by name all the members of the board. The board should be conducted in a quiet, professional, yet relaxed setting with the guidelines for youth protection kept in mind. Unit leaders may remain in attendance, but are as observers only. They had their chance at the Scoutmaster Conference, and they may be asked to be excluded if it's deemed to be counterproductive. Board members in attendance agree on a chairperson, typically the unit committee chair or the advancement chair. Observers to a board of review should be kept to a minimum for the aforementioned reason. It's a little intimidating, even in its relaxed format, for a youth to be sitting at a table with a number of adults. Parents and relatives are not included and not part of a board of review. Obviously, the point here is to help the scout stand on his own and hone his self-confidence and personal development communication skills. The board members determine unanimously that all requirements have been met and the rank can be conferred. Any potential problems along those lines should be discussed among the board members beforehand, and maybe even if need be, get the unit leader's input, because the unit leader has met with the scout to see what may transpire. Because the board of review is not a test, it's important to avoid practice or mock boards of review, because that sends the message that it is a pass-fail situation, which it's not. Best if the scout's present grasp of the material is captured in a live format. Rehearsals really aren't appropriate or even necessary. The best boards of review consider a question and answer that reveals the scout's character, leadership, development, citizenship, ideas and experiences, his or her mental and physical fitness, and how they are living up to the scout oath and law. Again, boards of review are not an inquisition or an examination. It's a conversation. But the board members must feel confident that the scout has a solid grasp of the rank requirements. Boards of review are not job interviews. Rather, as identified in the Guide to Advancement, they are described as celebrations, which I think is a bit of a stretch. But then again, they should be positive experiences that are remembered fondly. And a look back on the scout's experience in that rank can be done in a very positive and uplifting way. Personal growth is a goal of a successful board of review. The experience of the scout is primary. The skills mastered are secondary. Again, going back to the beginning of our conversation, that advancement is not an end in and of itself. It's just a means to an end. A board of review cannot be rejected, or a scout cannot be rejected from a board of review for reasons unrelated to rank requirements. If a review board cannot agree after due consideration, the scout is informed only what might be done to improve. An optional note may be drawn up to identify the areas to give the scout a roadmap to succeed in the future. The review board is tabled until areas identified have been addressed by the scout, and then the same board members ideally will reconvene in the future, and reconvene the board and hold it hopefully with a successful result. The scout is informed immediately, regardless of the review outcome. Review date becomes the date of rank in all records going forward. The unit leader is also informed of the board review's decision. Boards of review conducted via video or Zoom are possible, but are largely far less effective and becoming rare. This was more common during the COVID-19 pandemic. They're much less common now, but there are requirements and procedures set up within the Guide to Advancement for videotape board of reviews. Jumping ahead a little bit, there may be occasions where older scouts have moved on to college, and yet they're still involved in the scouting program away from home, and video boards of review may play a role in their success in situations like that. Multiple ranks can be reviewed on the same day, but the review board should be separate and involve different board members if feasible. Between boards, if more than one is conducted, the time clock resets to 0 for both boards. This particular ability comes in handy at summer camp when you may have insufficient unit members in camp, but there are other units you're camping with who have adults that can sit in as recruited adults to conduct boards of review. That works out very well. Scouting America Review Board's composition and administration differ slightly from Venture Boards of Review and Sea Scout Quartermaster Award Boards of Review. We're going to move now as we continue into the specifics of the Eagle Scout Board of Review, which may be the reason many of you are interested in this topic. Eagle Scout Boards of Review are different from those conducted at the tenderfoot to life level. And here are some distinctions that are pretty important to take note of. Again, a lot of this information is lifted directly from the pages of the Scouting America Guide to Advancement. Eagle Scout Boards of Review follow the same basic guidelines for tenderfoot through the life rank. But the Eagle Scout Board of Review involves district and council oversight because the rank of Eagle Scout, unlike any other rank in the scouting program, is held to a national standard. An Eagle Board of Review can be held by a unit or a district or at the council level, typically done by the unit level, or at the unit level rather. If held at the unit level, at least one board member must be from the local district or council and not part of the scout's own unit. Typically, a scout working on the rank of Eagle is assigned a district level coordinator or coach or assistant or a mentor to walk with him through the process. And that assigned district representative can fill the role at the Eagle Board of Review as the district and council's point person there, the representative. That person would sign the application after a successful Eagle Board of Review. Eagle Boards of Review members must be at least 21 years of age, but they need not be registered with the Scouting America program. They must have an understanding of the rank of Eagle Scout and the process to get to that rank. Verified Eagle applications submitted by the Scout applicant are required before an Eagle Board of Review can be convened. Board members set aside about 30 to 45 minutes to review their questions, review the application paperwork, and in many cases, letters of recommendation and reference, which are provided to the board before the Scout sits in with them for the question and answer period. Letters of reference are required before the board can be convened, but the board cannot be delayed due to the non-availability or non-responsiveness of requested character references. Lack of unit approval of an Eagle applicant is not grounds to deny an Eagle Board of Review. It is, however, fair game for questioning of the applicant. Eagle Boards of Review, the question answer period with the applicant should not exceed 45 minutes in length. Applicants are encouraged to ask their own questions. And this is an important point because, again, the Board of Review at any rank, but especially the rank of Eagle Scout, should be a discussion. And done properly, the Scout will learn as much from the adults as the adults learn from the Scout. I'm sure there are several Scouts out there who are just dying to know how the adults feel about many of the changes this program has gone through in the past 7 to 10 years. Only one Eagle Board of Review is given per applicant. An Eagle Board of Review may be conducted up to 24 months after the applicant's 18th birthday. The applicant need not be registered as a Scout at the time of his Board of Review. Moving into a particularly interesting area, we'll chat briefly as we start winding down here about boards of review under disputed circumstances. Per the Guide to Advancement, boards of review under disputed circumstances are available for all ranks, but they're extremely rare in the ranks of tenderfoot through life. Scouts must be advised in writing if a review board cannot agree successfully that the rank requirements have been met. And a letter then goes to the council so stating. The letter going to the Scout must state actions that may lead to advancement and explain any deficiencies and what corrective action may be taken to result in a successful board. It can also go on to explain an appeal process if need be. And here it's important to make a distinction between the boards of review under disputed circumstances and the appeal process of a board of review that did not go well. 99.44% of the time when this distinction surfaces, it is for the rank of Eagle Scout. So I'm going to focus my comments on the Eagle rank only. Again, a Scout is only allowed to have or only can be given one board of review. If a board of review is convened by his unit or the district or the council, or whoever convenes the board of review, if that board cannot successfully agree, then they advise the Scout of this in writing and provide him with the steps to appeal that board's decision not to confer the rank of Eagle Scout. That is what's called an appeal. This is different from a board of review under disputed circumstances. A board of review under disputed circumstances is conducted when, for example, the unit leader does not sign the application, the committee chair does not sign the application, or the benefiting organization for the leadership project does not sign off on the project, or if the Scout or his family feel in advance they cannot receive a fair review for the rank of Eagle. If that's the case, then the Scout or his parents may request to the local council a board of review under disputed circumstances. The same thing can be done by the unit if they know in advance or feel in advance they cannot, in all candor, successfully accept or agree that this applicant is worthy under the unit. That is a board of review under disputed circumstances. Again, only one board of review is given to a scout. It is either successful or it is not successful. If it is not successful, then an appeal process takes place. An appeal can only be filed by the scout or his parents. An appeal is an investigation into the process of the initial board of review, and it's not another board of review for the scout. It's an investigation into the process. The findings of the appointed appeal, appointed appeal are considered the final answer in the question of whether the rank is conferred or not. For tenderfoot through life, there is no request for a board review under disputed circumstances. There is an appeal, though, if the board of review does not go well by the unit. The board of review under disputed circumstances is only available for the rank of Eagle Scout. They are very rare and only held when facts clearly dictate that this is the only way forward. They are held at either the district or the council level. They can be requested only by the scout or scoutmaster's parents if the unit rejects in writing the scout's Eagle application. There is an avenue also if the unit feels strongly that they cannot help the scout succeed. They can advise the scout of that, and the scout and his parents can initiate the process. So the process of a disputed board review can stem from the unit or from the scout, but the request for a board under disputed circumstances must come from the scout or his parents. The unit must explain via letter why the application was rejected. Typically, there's a lack of signature or on the application or the workbook. The scout submits the application with the unit letter's rejection to the council office. That's what prompts the initiation of a board of review under disputed circumstances. The council advancement chair delegates either district or council level board members under disputed circumstances and designates a review board chairman. And the board is conducted by the district or the council, and it does not involve anyone from the scouts unit. Delegated board of review under disputed circumstances, chairperson selects 2 or 3 experienced adult volunteers to round out the review board. The administration of the board of review follows established procedures for an otherwise non-disputed board. Members of the Scouts unit do not participate in the board of review under disputed circumstances, but are advised of the results of the decision of the review board. The board of review under disputed circumstances, the board of review under disputed circumstances chairperson signs the Eagle application, which is resubmitted to the council with a letter indicating the applicant may proceed without unit leadership signatures. Just a few facts on the appeal process. Again, these are very rare as well. But an appeal is not another board of review. It's an investigation into the dispute. Appeals conducted at the council level only, but involve district level adults and volunteers. Unit members are not part of the appeal process, but can be contacted for input. Scouts only have one board of review for each rank, as we've discussed. So here are some ideas about what to ask and what to discuss. Review board members, and this applies to boards of review of any kind. Review board members may refer to published BSA texts, handbooks, committee guidebooks, Scoutmaster handbook. They may suggest, many suggested question topics are on the internet, but those are unofficial sources. Topic areas to touch on are, where were your skills learned? Who taught you? What did you gain from working on this rank? Describe to us how you've lived the Scout Oath and Scout Law. Gauge the Scout's comfort level. Mix in some lighthearted questions. For example, what was your least favorite merit badge? What was your favorite merit badge? What outing did you enjoy the most? Which one can we do without? Mix those in with some more thought-provoking questions. And do try, when asking questions, to phrase them in a way that a simple yes or no will not suffice. The idea here is to get the scout to provide information and open up and develop a self-confidence and give you a good understanding of what he or she has just been through. Not all youth feel comfortable talking to adults. Board of Review can provide a positive experience promoting this. Phrase your questions more along the lines of, can you describe or tell me about, or what would you do if, or what did you think about this or that? Phrase questions about skill completion to determine the understanding, not necessarily perfection. Although it's not an examination, review board's members must be satisfied the scout is confident in his skills such that they can teach other scouts, thus contributing to the strength and longevity of the unit. Focus also on service questions. What good turn did you do today? A well-run board gives a unit a good picture of the status of the activity program. Notes or minutes are not required, but may help if a letter needs to be sent. Notes are not retained from any board of review. Focus on scoutcraft, tenderfoot through first class. Focus on service and leadership in the merit badge and the star and life and eagle ranks. Eagle Board of Review follows a very similar format. Eagle Board of Review questions are typically in 3 subject areas. The Eagle Leadership Project is one, the Scout's time in the unit, and that's a fairly broad area. And thirdly, the Scout's plans for the future, tempered through the lens of what he learned in his scouting experience. It's always a good idea to ask a handful of citizenship-based questions. For example, what is your primary source of news and current events? Can you name 1 or 2 top global or national news events? What's happening right now? These are all good indicators of citizenship. For the 18-year-old applicants, one of my favorite questions is always, have you registered to vote? And have you voted? It's important to note that the Eagle Board Review is what I deem is it's for all the marbles. And it can be very broad-based. The thought-provoking questions are good indicators of both learning and personal growth. During the Eagle Board of Review, actually during all boards of review, but in particular the Eagle Board of Review, the applicant is allowed to refer to his handbook, to his project binder, and his Eagle application. If successful, the scout is advised and congratulated immediately because, again, that becomes his date of rank for the record. Parents are encouraged to be present when successful results are announced. They can't be there for the board itself, or if they are, which is very rare, they cannot provide any input. But it's nice to have the parents handy if all goes well to be in the moment after the fact. Both the Eagle Board of Review chairperson and district representative sign the application, which is then returned to the council office. Date of rank is the date of the successful board of review. Unsuccessful boards of review follow the guidelines for the after board of review and appealing a board of review and the filing of an appeal process, all outlined in Chapter 8 of the Guide to Advancement. It's not the Eagle Board of Review's responsibility to file an appeal, but the review board must inform the applicant in writing as to why. We've gone through quite a bit of material here, and I hope this has been helpful. I will close this webinar with my thanks again for your attention. I hope you enjoyed it. I will leave you my email address if you wish to reach out to me. Again, my name is Russ Talbot, T-A-L-B-O-T. I am with the Five Creeks District as their advancement chair. And my email address is eagles326@gmail.com. and that's Eagles, EAGLES the number 2, the number 6 at gmail.com. Thank you very much. Best of luck in your scouting adventure, and we hope to see you all